previously at my launch. And then as February came with the $99, I think it really just kind of sealed the deal. And I took them to the event we had with Wendy, and they signed up there. So I had 3 sign up there. Oh no, 2 sign up there, 1 signed up previous, and then over the weekend I had another one sign up, and she was really into the jewelry, and she wanted to buy, you know, all the fancy stuff, but was like, I don't want to spend all this money. And she was just going to buy a pair of earrings. And so we started talking that she wanted to do the business. She wanted to make her own income, and she had time. And then she decided that she could use the product credit to buy those earrings or buy that, you know, ring that she wanted, and that doing this would just be the best thing for her. So yeah, it's been a good week. I was kind of surprised at the end of the day, but it's a little overwhelming. To say the least, I have the best leader. Randy is amazing, but I'm definitely overwhelmed because now I had my launch party January 12th, so a month ago today, and now I'm kind of just overwhelmed on what I need to do personally, but her and Cassidy are great and helping, so I have to say thank you.
That's
but I'm very excited.
Yeah. Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome. I love it. Anybody else? Who else has something they want to share that was just really fun, that they learned, they tried and worked for them, anything like that? You are so silly. Nothing? Really? I know about a lot of good things that happened, but that's okay. I'm not going to speak for anybody. So let's go ahead and dive in. Tonight, I'm going to pick up where Terry O'Neill left off last week and talk about several things, but I would like to go back to the basics and talk about, I want to do a recap of a couple of things. First of all, a recap of what is a group leader, what are the requirements, and the second is what is about the recap of what the bonus is all about, because these are 2 different things, and I want to make sure that we're not confused about this. So let's talk about group leader. So we're going to play a Q&A. So for a group leader, there are 4 requirements. The first one is your personal sales. Who can tell me what the personal sales would be for a person being paid as a group leader?
1,200.
1,200. Great answer. That's a minimum, right? Obviously, the more you sell, the more money you'll make at 40% as a group leader. But it's pretty sweet, right? But you have to have at least 1,200 to meet that minimum requirement. How many PSAQs, personally sponsored, active qualified, we'll explain that in a minute, people do you need on your team to be a group leader?
3.
3 people. So 3 personally sponsored people. We'll talk about active and qualified in a minute. How much do you and they have to sell in a single month?
3,500.
Right. So, and you have to sell how much?
Personally, 1,200.
Personally, 1,200. And you and they combined, 3,500. Okay. And the fourth and final component, how much of that 3,500 does your team need to contribute? Trick question.
1,000.
1,000. Right. So there are 4 requirements in this. Your sales, your group sales, your team sales, the number of PSAQs, and how much they all have to contribute to the total, okay? So as you get closer and closer this month, next month, and every month as you get close, so let's say you hit group leader this month, right? But every month you're going to be running these numbers in your head or on paper regarding your team to make sure that you're hitting all 4 of those things that you've got $1,200 in sales for you, that you've got 3 PSAQs, that you've got $3,500 in total sales and $1,000 from them. Okay, what's a PSAQ? So who can tell me what PS stands for?
Personal sales.
Almost. PS.
Personally sponsored.
Personally sponsored. That's right. So it's somebody that I sponsored, right? I brought her in. It's not somebody that somebody else sponsored. What does the A stand for? PSAQ.
Active.
Active. Who can tell me what active means?
$500 in sales.
Nope.
Nope. No.
$1 over 3 months.
$1 every 3 months. $1 every 3 months is active. Correct. Now, we don't have anything for $1. I think the least expensive thing we have is $6. No. Yes.
6.
6. Yeah. Okay. So that's active. So a single dollar every 3rd month. What is the Q?
Qualified.
Qualified. Jacqueline, tell me, what is qualified?
They've done $500 in sales.
When?
Well, anytime.
Right. It doesn't have to be their first month.
No, anytime. It could be their first month, second month, third month. They just have to have $500 in sales and be qualified.
In a particular month, they have to have sold $500. So a PSAQ is somebody who you sponsored. She at one point sold $500 in some month. That makes her qualified, and you're always qualified. Once qualified, you're always qualified. And active, meaning she sold at least $1 2.5 months ago, right? So she would be a PSAQ. So that's your PSAQ. All right. So those are our requirements. Now, let's talk about the really fun part. How much do you get paid on your personal sales as a group leader?
40%.
Ha! So when you do that $1,000 party, what do you walk away with?
$400.
I know, right? What would you make if you were a consultant right out of the gate?
25%.
$250. Right. So you see the advantage of thinking strategically about sponsoring. It ups your own pay just for everything that you do. Okay. When you are a group leader, how much do you earn on your PSAQs on all your personal sponsors?
9%.
They can hear us.
So let's say she's a blockbuster salesperson and she just sold $10,000 this month. How much will you make on her sales for helping her? 10,000 times 9%.
900.
900. What if she sold 1,000? What would
90.
you? $90. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So she becomes a glam ambassador. You get points toward Alaska. If you're in your glam plan, you just got 500 jewelry dollars, and you just made $90 as a group leader. So yeah, that's kind of nice too. Okay, let's talk about the bonus. So anybody want $500 bonus as a brand new group leader? Anybody at all? Okay, I see a few hands going up. I know. So I know, that's right. Becca just raised her hand, raised her iPhone. That was cute. So here's how that works. You reach group leader this month or next for the first time ever, and sponsor 2 glam ambassadors between now and the end of March. They have to be paid as they have to hit glam ambassador by the end of March, whoever it is. So she could sign today, both of them. They could both sign today and reach glam ambassador by the end of March. Or they could sign on March 29th and reach glam ambassador on March 30th. That's okay too. But there have to be 2 of them. So you reach group leader and you sponsor 2 glam ambassadors who could be part of your group. They could be 2 of the 3 PSAQs that you need. You have to sell 1,000, right? Each one of them. And then you get your $500 bonus. Cash, money, not jewelry, cash money. So we love that. Okay. So a couple things I want to talk about now that we've got the requirements out of the way. The first is I want to talk about party count. Terry did a great job last week talking about the concept of not being sales-minded, but being party-minded. And Why do you think she said be party-minded, not sales-minded? So when you go to a party, book more parties. Why do you think that was important? Party count was important, not sales. Any ideas?
Because you need to see those people and you need to meet people to get people to join you.
Yes,
Who's gonna join you
exactly.
most likely on a catalog party.
Right. Excellent job. Yep. Great answer. That's right. It's all about the people. So when you're going for group leader, the focus is on the people, not the sales. Now, occasionally sales can be an indicator of how many people you met, but we want the focus to be on the number of live parties that we are doing. And when we go to do those parties, we want our focus to always be on sponsoring. In fact, it's really worth our time to set a personal goal each time we go out the door to a party, regardless of how many we think will be there, to set an intention for ourselves of, I am so excited because I'm going to find 3 people to talk to about the business tonight. And if you set that intention, you will actually make that happen. You will find a way to listen and ask great questions, hear the answers, and figure out where can you insert the concept of Touchstone Crystal as a business gently for that person. And that's why party count is so important, because the more times you can get out the door in front of live women where they can see your beautiful face, where they can feel feel how nice you are, feel how warm and kind you are, feel how passionate you are about what you're doing, that you're excited about Touchstone Crystal and all that it has to offer to people. That kind of thing can't be transmitted digitally, right? And we can sell, but digitally, but it's all about the personal relationships that happen at the party. Going with that sponsoring mindset changes everything. A sponsoring mindset versus a selling mindset. So let's pretend you're at the table versus a hosting mindset. Let's pretend you're around your jewelry table and somebody says, oh my gosh, I just love all this jewelry so much. It's so beautiful. A sales mindset would say, oh, thank you. I'm so glad you like it so much. So, you know, the guest special is that you can pick out any piece that you love most for 30% off with a $100 retail order. And you know, you could start making a wish list and keep chipping away at it every month, and you know, that kind of thing. And I can help you keep track of your wish list, and so we can make sure we get all of the jewelry that you want. That would be a sales mindset, right? A booking mindset would be, oh, thank you. I'm so glad you like it so much. Let me see what your wish list looks like. Oh, that's great. So, you know, something to think about. Why don't you consider, I hope you'll consider hosting your own party sometime, because you can chip away at a lot of this wish list and get it for free. That would be a hosting mindset. And both of those things are fine. But if you want to go in for if you want to go for sponsoring and somebody loves the jewelry, you want to be talking to her about everything else in her life too. Finding out, is she retired? Is she retiring? Does she have little kids at home and she's home with them? Does she wish she was home with them? I don't know. Did she just get out of college? Is she working part-time and is about to lose her job? Did her husband just lose his job? There are all these things that we want to listen for because they could be a great opportunity. Maybe she's just bored stiff. I had a lovely conversation yesterday with somebody who is a very high-powered executive in her job. And she purchased 7 ice bracelets from me at the party that I did yesterday. And as I was talking to her, I was asking questions. Tell me about your job. Well, I'm this level. I'm like the CFO of this company. We just got bought by a $7 billion a year company. So now I have to interface with this CFO and that CFO. And it was a fascinating conversation. She goes, but I'm so bored. I just don't like it at all. She goes, but I love to sell. And I really wish I could sell, but I have a daughter and I'm a single mother and I can't travel anymore. But, you know, and meanwhile, she's playing with the jewelry. And I said, what if you could just stick it out for 7 more years, but find something fun on the side? She goes, yeah, I don't know, maybe that would work too. Maybe that would help me to get through. I said, what if you just came and sold jewelry? She goes, you know what? As I'm standing here, I was actually thinking about that myself. Now, she might never said anything to me, but I was listening and asking questions, and I simply inserted, why don't you think about blah, 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 right? Like I'm a friend. I'm not being the salesy girl. If she doesn't sign up, it's okay. I want what's best for her, but I want her to think about, well, what if? I don't know. What if? So I gave her some information, and we're talking this week. We're going to have lunch this week. So, you know, you just don't know. It's the asking of the questions. I could have simply just sold her jewelry. I could have never asked her anything about herself. But I didn't do that. I was diving in to have that personal conversation with her. Now, she still may not sell. I don't know. I hope she does, because I really liked her. We had a lot of fun together. But, you know, you never know. But you will know the answer if you don't offer it, right? Because the answer is always no if you don't ask. So that's the key component. When you go to a party with a sponsoring mindset, you will be offering the business to people in a lot of different ways, to a lot of different kinds of people. I want to talk about some tools. I want to shift gears really fast, and I want to share my screen and talk about a couple of tools in a moment. The first tool is, because we have a lot of tools that the company has given us, and I don't want you to feel like you have to wait for our Monday night calls. It's great to have our 7:30 call to invite people to. It's great to have the 8 o'clock to give them an opportunity to kick the tires of what it'd be like to be a consultant. But I want you to learn how to use these things yourself, because for you to use them personally yourself is a whole lot better than to have them come on the team calls. We'll always have these calls. They are great backup. Honestly, if you do them yourself and then invite them to hop on and listen to one of us do them, even better, because they're going to hear it differently the second time. They're going to gain more information the second time around. And so that's why we will always be doing the Zooms for the Spread the Sparkle at 7:30 and the Ready, Set, Glam at 8. But whole lot better if you learn how to do them yourself. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. I think what I'll do is just go to Glam Central. I want to make sure that you all can find all these documents. So let's see. So the first one I want to look for is the Fast 15. And you might not even know that this exists. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. There's your $500. Okay. So first thing that you can, one thing that you can show people is the Fast 15. Did you know this is even here? Here's the Fast 15. This is literally a cheat sheet. And did you know what this is a cheat sheet for? It's a cheat sheet for the Sparkle brochure. And it's a cheat sheet for the spring opportunity webinar that we do. This is literally all the words that are in the Sparkle brochure right here. So you could be talking to somebody and using these as your notes. Okay, you could print this thing off, use them as your notes. Second thing that you can use is, it's down here. Opportunity webinar. So here's the same thing, Fast 15, showing the opportunity. Opportunity webinar. You can sit with somebody over coffee. This is exactly what we use at 7:30. This is the thing we use that Jacqueline used tonight at 7:30. It's here for you to use. It's not just for us to use. Here's the beauty of it. Think about it. Let's say you do this with somebody and they see that you pulled it up off of your back office. They will learn that they can do that too. That you're not having to reinvent the wheel, make stuff up, create stuff. The company already gave it to you. So it's something that you get to actually use yourself. The next thing I want to show you is the Ready, Set, Glam guide. This is actually something that if you can't find it from your starter kit, it's available digitally. And this really becomes the Sparkle Bible. This is the coolest thing. And they keep updating it. This is so much better than it used to be. Man, it has a million things in it. Honestly, there are so many tools on here. You're going to want to get to know what's on what page. because you can start using these with people who are considering the business. And that's essentially what we do on the 8 o'clock call, is we use a lot of the resources from here to show people what it would be like to get started. Now, the 8 o'clock is for two sets of people. It's for the tire kickers, and it's for the ones who are brand new, right? So we can help dive them in. But honestly, I want you all to get used to using this too, because that's really important. How to hold your launch party. You can go over this page with a potential consultant, and you can go over what a sample text message might be to her launch party. You want to talk to her about how she would invite friends to her launch party, because see, here's the key. We want her to come in, when you're sponsoring somebody, we want her to come in with a great strategy for how she is going to get started. One of the most important things about our company, I think, is that we actually have a plan. And a lot of other companies don't have a plan for getting people started. They just say, hey, come on in. I've had a lot of people tell me lately that their last 3 companies didn't have a plan for helping people. They never got any support. They quit their last 3 companies because they just couldn't make it work for them. There was no strategy involved. But we have a lot of training, and it's very systematized. And that's really important. As your teams grow really, really fast, these systems become even more important. And if you want your team to grow really fast, they're even more important. So next thing I want to talk to you about, are there any questions about any other tools that you can think of, by the way, that you might use to help someone consider coming into the business?
I share with them the picture of the kit.
Picture of the kit? Good. What else? How about the GLAM plan?
Yeah, the new GLAM plan.
The new GLAM plan. Have you guys seen that one? Let me share the screen, because I think I had it up on my screen a minute ago, in fact. So the new GLAM plan looks like this. And I like it so much better. And you know why? It's because look what it's highlighting. Months 1 through 3, share the Sparkle bonus right at the top. It's great. I love sharing this with people when they're considering the business, because it helps them to see what's possible. And that's really important. What else do you all use? Anything else that would be helpful? Okay. Okay. Any questions about those kinds of tools? Do you all feel like you would be comfortable being this intentional with the tools that we have? Do you feel like you could pull that off? And if not, how could you get comfortable? What would you need to do? Who could you practice with? Saying some of these things out loud, talking through the Sparkle brochure with the Fast 15. Showing
your upline.
Practice on your upline? Yeah. What if you invited a friend to let you practice on a friend on some of these things so you could get good at it? Pick a couple friends and go practice on them. It would only take 15 minutes. Like, I want to do a sample practice on you so I know how to say these things. So here's the fun thing. The 7:30 and the 8 o'clock call, a lot of it is so that you all can learn how to do it, because we're modeling it when we do it on the 7:30 call and the 8 o'clock call. But we want you to be able to do it personally. And we want you to be able to do it in your town or in a coffee shop with 3 people who are interested in the business. One of the goals of doing those calls is that we equip you to be really confident in how to present the business and the GLAM plan and the Ready, Set, GLAM guide. Okay. So a couple. Yeah. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Sorry.
That's fine.
So I think all the information is really great, and you can practice on your friends. But do you ever feel like sometimes I feel like it can be overwhelming? There's just a lot of information.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick, right? So maybe between the 15 and the GLAM plan, I feel like that can be very overwhelming for somebody who's just never heard of it, no idea.
Right.
What's your advice for I don't want to say what's the most important because I think it's all important, but
Yeah.
what do you think is kind of the best to go with? Because I think short and sweet at first is kind of to get people in, and then you expand.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you're right. And I think it's going to depend on the person and the setting. If you've got somebody who is really serious about it and is meeting you for coffee, for example, then you might say, would you like to start by asking me questions? Or would you like for me to ask you questions and then show you what our standard presentation is, and then let that spark the questions? You can collaborate with her on what it is that she wants. And, hopefully by that time you have a little bit of a sense, every conversation is going to be so different. But a lot of it is going to be, how serious is she? If it's somebody who's just kind of kicking the tires, if she's just kicking kind of a little bit curious, I dive in with my questions for her. And it's things like, so fill me in. You're a little bit curious. Why the curiosity? And I get her talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep,
Thank you.
definitely. I dive in with questions and I go from there. And sometimes they really do want to hear the whole thing. Like they want to hear the story. And the story is convincing. The part about the fun, the flexibility, all that stuff, I zip right through it as fast as I can. I go really fast. But it gives them that flavor of, what we have to offer. But the first 5 are really important, and a lot of them are nuts and bolts. And the last 5 are usually the kinds of questions that they normally have. So it doesn't have to take all that long. But I like to start with questions about who they are and get their permission to dive in and see if that's what they would like to do. It really is all about them. It's all about them.
Okay.
That's such a good question, Lindsay. It's a great question. And you know what? It just takes doing it. And after a while, you'll learn where to inject certain things, I think. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Betsy.
Sure. Congratulations. So the last thing I want to talk to you about is the concept of a pipeline. And this has served me well over the years. Keep in mind, as soon as you hit group leader with 3 people, it's a very exciting and heady experience. On the team page, there's a whole lot of congratulations and hoopla. You might get a written note, like a handwritten note and something from your upline leader. You'll get added to the team leader page. You'll get added to the company secret leader page. You didn't know that existed, did you? It's a thing. And you get added to it as a group leader, right? It's where all the secret stuff happens. So there's a lot of really fun stuff. And the interesting thing, though, so then people go, well, now what do I do? Well, guess what? What you do now is exactly what got you there. You keep going, right? So what got you those 3 new team members is what you will keep doing. You keep focusing on the people that you met all along the way. In the meantime, you will have talked to a bunch of people who have said, no, I'm not ready to join your team yet. So you found 3, maybe 4, Lindsay, but but there are probably some others who expressed a little curiosity, and that's called your pipeline. And your goal is to keep track of your pipeline. You want to pretend it's like a puppy. You want to keep growing your pipeline. You want to keep petting your pipeline. Pet it, feed it, water it, take it for walks. You're going to do a lot with your pipeline. You have to know where your pipeline is at all times. Keep track of your pipeline. Keep it in writing. It's a written document. It's up on a whiteboard. Usually mine's on a whiteboard. It could be on a piece of paper. And eventually it becomes a double-sided piece of paper because you're meeting so many people. It's fine if somebody says to you, this sounds like a lot of fun. I'm not ready yet, but I think I'll be ready after graduation and in June once we ship our kid off to the Army, or whatever the story is. There's always something, right? That's great. The problem is we ingest it as failure. I didn't sign her. I did something wrong. No, you didn't do anything wrong. It's all about timing. It's all about her. But you want to keep track of her on your pipeline. Remember, you're going to be petting your pipeline. You're going to be massaging your pipeline. You're going to be feeding and watering your pipeline, right? Taking it for walks. Because what you're going to do is not only keep track of it, you're going to keep talking to the people in your pipeline. So let's say Mary is interested in what you have to offer. Maybe she hopped on a call. Maybe she took your information and you chatted with her and she's really interested, but just not right now. So what do I do with Mary and the other 11 people that I met, or the other 3 people, or the other however many people over time? And let me tell you, over a year, if you're intent, your pipeline will grow. It'll keep growing. People will come off of your pipeline because as you keep reaching out to them, and I'll tell you what you're going to be doing with them, eventually some of them will say, you know what, I don't think I'll ever want to do this. I think I'd rather just stay a hostess, or I'd rather just stay a customer. This won't be for me. I can't see myself doing it. And you go, perfectly fine. Take them off your pipeline. So what do you do with the pipeline? Well, one thing that you don't do is keep asking them when are they going to get started. You don't do that. What you do want to do is you want to feed it in ways that make their interest grow. So if there's a fun article that you saw about Swarovski, I don't know, back when they did Cinderella, or when maybe they're doing some new movie or something. And
Victoria's Secret.
What?
Victoria's Secret.
Victoria's Secret, yeah. So you can send your pipeline people, look what our sister company, Swarovski Entertainment, is doing. I thought this was really fun. I thought you would enjoy seeing it. You want to puff her up with excitement about being a part of Swarovski. So someday in the far off future, when she gets started, she's going to be a part of this wonderful thing called Swarovski, right? Maybe it's so that she can see the incentives this month. Hey, I was just thinking about you. I know you're not ready to get started, but I thought it'd be fun for you to see the kinds of incentives that we have, right? I know you're not ready to get started, but I thought you would enjoy seeing the kinds of incentives. Meanwhile, she's like drooling, right? I wish I was ready to get started. Right? We want to keep her interest peaked. So what you're trying to do is keep this pipeline interested, not in such a way that they feel pressured by you, but in such a way that they are literally picking up the breadcrumbs that you have been dropping for them the whole time, that they are watching you. Maybe you post something really pretty on your page, like a great article about Touchstone, or I don't know, a fun post, with a new piece of jewelry or something, and you tag her and you go, this made me think of you, right? You keep her in the game, but only on a fun level, not in a, yeah, but when are you going to start, right? We don't have to be that way. We just want to keep her engaged and having fun. So keep track of it in a written way. Keep showing her fun stuff. When you have a $99 kit like this, it is legitimate to go to every person in that pipeline and say, I know this is probably not the right timing, but I would be remiss if I didn't show this to you, right? It's only $40 off. I mean, it's not that big a deal. It's more mental than anything else. But if it gets you in front of them, begging the question about a $99 kit, it might be something fun. You use the word fun, and you say something fun that made me think of you. I know you're not ready to get started, but thought you would enjoy seeing this. That's it. Boom. Don't ask her, are you ready now? That kind of thing. Because we don't need to beg the question. So these are the kinds of things that you do with your pipeline. Any thoughts or questions about pipeline?
No.
Debbie's like, nope, I got one.
Nope,
I know what I'm doing. You do too.
Uh-huh.
Debbie's good with the pipeline. Yeah. What else could you do with the pipeline? What else might you send to people in your pipeline? Just other random fun things. Examples of fun things. Maybe I covered them all. That would be unusual, but maybe. Okay. All right, so that's it for right now. That was the sum total of what I wanted to share with you. Those are some of the really high points that I felt were important. The recap of group leader, recap of the bonus, the why party count matters, sponsoring mindset. You get what you focus on, right? Which is sponsoring. Setting goals for yourself when you're driving to the party, how many people you intend to talk to about the business, what your tools are that are available to you and some ways to use them, and then the concept of the pipeline. Because honestly, that pipeline is what will keep your team growing. It's actually your number one weapon in keeping your team growing. It's awesome. So any general questions? We'll just take one or two general questions and then we'll be all done tonight. I don't want to keep you all. Y'all are excited to go back and work on your pipelines, I can see. All right. Ladies, thank you. I am so excited for you guys. There are a lot of you who are so close to hitting leader. I swear, I think we're gonna break a record. I really do. With the number of promotions on our team, I can't fathom that any organization in the company is going to have as many new group leaders over the next 2 months as we will, because you all are working so hard and so smart and so strategically, and I am so proud of you. I see those new team members coming in, and man, I am just cheering you on. I am cheering you on. I'm so proud of you all. All right, everybody, have a great night and a great week. We have so much excitement ahead of us. Keep it going, and thanks for being on.
Thanks, Betsy.
Thank you.
Bye. My pleasure. Thank you.